Man, what's going on, y'all boys, man? You already know what time it is, man. By the title and thumbnail, you really already know what to expect, you know. But for you of those who can't read, let me read it for you right now. Craziest reactions of teen killers getting life sentences. Now, I'm gonna let y'all know something. It might be some scenes in here that surprise y'all, but I gotta let y'all know something. I'm positive it's really like, it's not the elephant in the room, but it's just me explaining the obvious. This generation is different. So I know a lot of people will have a lot more remorse then than they do now. So I remember, I don't know if y'all remember, but originally we did a video reaction to something like this. It was part 1. Right now we're doing part 2, but make sure y'all check out part 1 if y'all want to check it out. And it did pretty good. We got over 200,000 views, over 10,000 likes. A lot of people loved the video. So I decided, you know, why not do a part 2? Because that's something that y'all let me know that y'all wanted to see anyway. So, but you know what? Let me find another video and let's do another reaction to see like why these teens must be stopped. I genuinely feel like that life is short anyways. These people, like, their mind just be wired different. Like, they don't be like the norm. They don't think like the normal human being. Like, they mind be wired in a way that you wouldn't even think or understand. Like, okay, what's going on in my head? Well, you know what I'm saying? Like why am I doing what I am doing right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, some of them people literally has Asperger's. They don't show no remorse, you know what I'm saying? But make sure if y'all boys enjoyed this reaction video that you smash the like button, comment and subscribe for your boy, man, and let me know your honest thoughts and opinions on this situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know people don't have respect for life, but it's a difference than you react in a manner that you don't give a F when hearing the life sentence. Like, you just have to be a different type of animal. But let's get into it right now, man. Like I said, once again, to smash the like button, comment and subscribe for your boy, man. Let's get this video to 10,000 likes and come join the boy over to Discord, man. We almost at 300 followers on Discord, so y'all come on over and let's get live and let's get lit and let's go.
Shondell shot him and killed him.
My son is not a monster. He is not a monster.
And those be the parents. I know we just got into the video, but I'm so happy that I touched this subject, or they touched it. He is not a monster. They stay saying it about kids. He's not a mind. He was so good. He couldn't have been too good because you didn't know he was in the streets and now he didn't take people's life and traumatizing people's families. He is a monster. He needs some help. Like, these parents I be feeling like, honestly, if the situation would be handled at home, a lot of situations wouldn't even happen. It wouldn't even occur. It wouldn't even occur, if that makes sense. It wouldn't even occur. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wouldn't happen. I feel like that a situation like this wouldn't even happen. You know what I'm saying? If the parents just got their kid the proper help or proper diagnosis, they would ignore what a doctor is telling them. Like, yeah, ma'am, this kid honestly, like, it will need some help. Or they kid is going around angry or end up in situations with the cops. Like, you need to get to a situation with your kid to where whatever help they need, that they get it, because if they don't get the proper help, this is the route that they may choose. It's going to be dead or either in jail. Tupac wouldn't lie about that.
He smiled as his sentencing was read aloud.
You'll go to prison for the rest of your life. That means you'll die there.
What is going on? Why are these people like this?
And Khalil repeatedly hit him in the head. The following stories tell the tale of 3 young teenage killers who had crazy reactions to getting life sentences. Shondell Jackson was born in February of 1991. His life took a turn for the worst on July 6th of 2009. He was walking through the campus of University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee alongside a friend of his, 20-year-old Derek Thomas. They came across a student who was walking to his River West apartment, which is located no more than a mile away from campus. This student was 21-year-old Nathan Potter, who was a senior at the university at the time. Nathan was talented and creative. He was well loved by friends and family, and he had his whole life ahead of him. All of that would change forever when he came across Shondell and Derek. These 2 men planned to rob Nathan. They held him at gunpoint and demanded that he hand over all of his money. But when he insisted that he had none, Shondell shot him and killed him. Both men would later pay for this cowardly and heartless act. He was arrested and his case went to trial. Throughout the entire trial, he showed absolutely no
Wow.
remorse for what he did or sympathy towards Nathan's heartbroken family. At times, he could reportedly even be seen smirking and gesturing towards
Wow.
them. Once, he even smiled at them. Nathan's mother, Denise, acknowledged how evil her son's killer was while speaking to the judge.
We see how evil Chantel is in court, looking at us, swearing at us, and smiling.
Nathan's father, James Potter, addressed the court as he gave a victim impact statement.
Judge, there is nothing that can be said to bring back our Nathan. But your sentence can ensure that Chantel does not have the opportunity as a free man to inflict pain like this again. Is there such thing as pure evil? We think so.
He was found guilty of first-degree homicide and robbery. His sentencing occurred while he was just 19 years old.
19, chat. This dude I didn't even think he was gonna be close to 19. I ain't gonna lie, he looked grown in the mud, but 19, turn around doing like this, showing no remorse to the family, bro. You took this man's life because he didn't have no money. You could have left him alone and went to the next guy and at least got $5 more. Like let him live his, you ain't got nothing, I bet. You know what I'm saying? Let me go to the next person then. You could have got money, bro. You just took somebody's life because he didn't have no money. That's what I'm saying. Like, these kids don't have any respect for life at all. Not even a little bit. Like, 19 years old because he ain't had no money. Just imagine that stuff not finna be, just imagine going to jail and telling them you took a dude's life. Why? I robbed him, he ain't had no money, so they gonna look at you like you stupid, bro. You not finna get no respect. You finna look at like you dumb. A dumb criminal, a crash out. Man, let's get into it, man. My bad, y'all.
The judge presiding over the case believed that should Shondell ever be released, he would be a public menace, quick to kill again.
Not of caring of human life and the need to protect the community, which I also fear for with Mr. Jackson being out in the community. I am going to go ahead on count 1, the first-degree intentional homicide conviction, and I am going to sentence Mr. Jackson to life imprisonment without possibility for extended supervision.
It was then that Shondell quickly looked over his shoulder, presumably to glare at his victim's family. A female officer grabs his head and tries to force him to look forward at the judge, but he struggles against her, a look of pure hatred on his face. Sobbing can be heard in the background, and it's unclear whether the person sobbing is from Shondell's or Nathan's. While this is all going on, Nathan's parents and little sister hold on to each other, tears streaming down their faces silently. Meanwhile, the judge tries to continue.
It's so sad, man. Like, just to even see a black dude, like, this dude and just killed this white guy and got this, like, we already, like, be looking crazy when it comes to situations like this, but look how hurt his family is. Like, just me, like, if that would have been somebody in my family, I would have showed that family so much comfort. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have been on their side. Like, what can I do? Like, I know my son is an a-hole. I know he did what he did, and I know that it's like, I couldn't even imagine me losing my son. Like, what can I do for the rest of, like, since I know you now, what can I do for the rest of your life just to help? You know what I'm saying? Like, I would tap in with her once in a while, send her gifts, send her presents, like, just show her that, you know, that if my son is not sorry for what he did, I'm sorry for what he did. Like, that's just something I would have did as a parent, just to let that family know, like, he's showing no remorse, but that's not how I raised him. And we show remorse. So I hope that family did what they were supposed to do and at least show that family some remorse if the kid didn't show any remorse.
With her sentencing.
I know that is something that is reserved for the most serious of cases, and I believe that this case rises to that level.
The female officer begins to struggle to try to keep Shondell from looking at the victim's family, and eventually a male officer has to come over to assist her while the sobbing in the courtroom continues to intensify. Someone can be heard moaning in the background, likely one of Shondell's family members. While the officers struggle to regain control over the courtroom, someone not in view screams no at the top of their lungs. This seems to be all it takes to finally set Shondell over the edge. He stands up and begins fighting against the two officers. A lawyer dressed in a suit and tie has to come over to try to help them. Shondell is fighting hard, so much so that the wooden table in front of him is pushed away. With the help of other officers and reportedly the use of pepper spray, they manage to get Shondell down to the ground. There's a lot of crying in the background while all this is going on, and you can even hear Shondell's own family offering words of encouragement and support. Eventually, the officers manage to get Shondell under control and bring him back up to his feet. He is then quickly handcuffed and ushered out of the courtroom. He continues to fight them, and at one point, an officer has to grab the back of his head to keep him under control. Just before he is taken out of the door, you can hear a woman wailing in the background, likely Shondell's mom. Another one of Shondell's family members screamed
What?
at Nathan's face.
What? No, bro. No. See, this is like, man, chat. Like, I don't want to say it, but I have to because it's on the tip of my tongue, bro. Like, this family, they created this monster, if I'm being honest. They had to have created this monster. The fact that she had to look back and tell the family, the victim's family, that she hates them. You hate them for what? Which shows, like, you need to hate your brother. Y'all are mad at the wrong people. What do you mean I hate y'all? Like, that's what I be saying, man. Some of these black people be slow. I know I'm black, so I can say it, but being 100, bro, like, situations like this and make everyone look bad. You know that one bad apple can spoil it for everybody. And this is a situation right here. That whole family can be just traumatized from when they meet melanated people. It would just remind them of what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, show some remorse for the family, man. Kick whoever just said that ignorant stuff out of the court. And anybody that's within that family in general, I'm gonna keep it 100. If y'all not trying to correct that young woman for what she said, then y'all need to bounce too. That whole family is something wrong with that. Y'all the reason that monster is created. And I'm gonna keep it 100. Cause I'll be danged if I be in somewhere where my uncle killed somebody and my auntie is sitting here saying, going off on another family. We'll be going off on our aunt. Like who you talking? No, he crazy. Like, I don't know.
Family as she was pulled out of the courtroom. It was as if she believed Shondell's sentencing was their fault.
Wow.
Nathan's emotional mother was interviewed after the sentencing. She explained how terrified Nathan's young sister was to go into the courtroom that day and be around Shondell.
Our little girl was afraid. She was afraid that he was going to try and kill one of us. She was afraid.
Especially when they were yelling threats. She's like, how can I sleep now? What is going on? Why are these people like this?
You know, I hope that as he spends the rest of his life in jail, that he comes to terms with it and does value human life, and that there is some redemption for him at some point. But that's totally up to him. And for his family to say to us, we hate you, what's that all about? We didn't do a thing to him.
Meanwhile, Derek, Shondell's accomplice, pleaded guilty for his involvement. He was sentenced to only 12 years in prison. The insane reaction quickly went viral online as many news organizations covered it. One reporter that was present noted how quickly the officers responded to Shondell's outburst.
12 News' Nick Bohr is live at the courthouse with new information. Nick, deputies reacted quickly to that outburst.
Right, Kathy, almost as if they anticipated it, which they did because of the convicted killer's actions last February during his trial.
Despite everything Shondell did, there are still people out there that believe Shondell's sentence was too harsh and that he deserves a second chance due to his young age.
When I saw it on the news, I even cried. I'm like, oh my God, I can't imagine what that mother is going through. I never had a clue that my child had anything to do with it. My son is not a monster. He is not a monster.
For now,
This be the problem right here. The mothers that don't want to hold their son accountable for life. I could just imagine, like, this couldn't have been the first time if he knocked off a dude for not giving him the money that he didn't have. This wasn't the first time that he pulled a stunt like that. That was not the first time that he pulled a stunt like that at all. He took plenty of people's lives. This is just the time that he got caught. How he's not showing any type of empathy, the level that he, like, the situation of why he committed the crime in general just shows that he done this once before. I promise you. And this is the reason, like, he the type that I'm positive when he was dating girls, she was probably making excuses for her son. He getting in trouble in school, making excuses for her son. Her son was probably, well, he was 19, so of course he was still living with her. You just say you wasn't tapped in with how your son really is. That's what it really sounds like. It don't sound like oh, he's not a bad person. It sounds like, oh, I just didn't take care of my son how I was supposed to. I didn't raise my son how I was supposed to. I wasn't tapped in with my son how I was supposed to. Like, what is she talking about, man?
Remains behind bars where he will likely stay for the rest of his life.
Dante Wright.
Jordan Klee was a well-loved high school football player from Ann Arbor, Michigan. He had his whole life ahead of him. When he was found dead in October of 2016, the entire community was rocked. It had been the very first homicide of the entire year, and nobody could understand who would have done something like this to an innocent young man. He was supposed to be in class that day at his school, Pioneer High School, but instead, he had been shot dead. His killer was a teenager named Dante Wright. He and two other men had tried to rob Jordan at gunpoint. The robbery ended with Jordan's death. The community was desperate for answers, and answers they finally got from Dante himself.
The victim in this case loved playing football here at Pioneer High School, but his death back in October 2016 sent shockwaves through this student body and the community. It was the first homicide in Ann Arbor in 2016, and today we learned what happened as his admitted killer came forward.
Dante Wright was supposed to have had a pre-trial hearing for the case. Instead, he admitted that he and two of his friends were trying to rob Jordan at gunpoint. Dante answered the lawyer's questions calmly and directly.
And who are you going to rob?
Jordan Klee.
Jordan's heartbroken mother was in court, wiping away tears while she sat a short distance away from her son's killer. She had no choice but to listen as she learned for the very first time what happened to her beloved child.
And as a result of that armed robbery, what did you do with that gun and Mr. Jordan Klee?
Shot him.
Where did you shoot him?
On the top of his head.
And did you kill him with that shot?
Yes.
Jordan died at an apartment complex not far from his home. His body was discovered by a maintenance worker. It's hard to understand why it was Jordan who was targeted, but Jordan's mom at least had the satisfaction of knowing who did this to her child.
Wow.
Throughout all the legal proceedings he went through, Dante never seemed to be truly sorry. He didn't even seem to be daunted by the fact that he knew that because of what he confessed, he would likely spend much of his life behind bars. He didn't even try to be respectful in hopes of maybe getting the judge to go easy on him. In fact, he smiled as his sentencing was read aloud. It's safe to say that the judge presiding over the case noticed his disrespectful behavior and took the necessary steps to teach him a lesson.
Well, Stephen, it's a case of a murdered Ann Arbor teen, and it was quite a shakeup in court today. The judge asked the prosecutor to throw out the sentence agreement and take this case to trial. There was a long recess as everything was put on pause because of this 17-year-old's behavior.
While being sentenced for murder, Dante Wright had nothing but a joyful and happy smile on his face as Jordan's mother read her victim impact statement and expressed the pain she felt over the loss of her son, tears running down her face as she tried her best to be strong. Jordan's mother, Karen Klee, was too emotional to read her victim impact statement in court, so she had Courtney Klee do it for her. Courtney tried to remain as strong and stoic as she could.
I've lost laughter and love. I no longer have the hope of having grandchildren. I've lost the enjoyment of holidays and birthdays and of everyday life.
All the while that this statement is being read, Karen wipes away tears while Donta appears unapologetic. When Donta finally gets a chance to address the court and the victim's family, he offers no apology or remorse.
I just want to tell y'all, I'll be home soon. R.I.P. Keon, I love my family.
What?
That's all you got to say.
Yes.
What? Chad, let me tell you something about this generation, bro. Oh my God. This man said, he shouted out his hood and just said, I'll be home soon. This is what happened when you watch like TikToks and too much television. Let's rewind.
And the victim's family. He offers no apology or remorse.
I just want to tell y'all, I'll be home soon. R.I.P. Keon, I love my family.
Wow. Wow, chat. You can't make this up, man. You can't. Like I told y'all, this generation, they don't know the definition of consequences. They don't know the definition of respect and remorse, the difference. That's not in their vocabulary. And let's just see if this woman say that her child is just this angel.
That's all you got to say.
Yes.
The judge presiding over the case was completely fed up.
Watching you sit there, smile, and laugh, and shake your head like this was no big deal, I'm very tempted to just say, I'm not going to accept this sentence agreement. We'll go to trial, and if you're convicted of felony murder, you'll go to prison for the rest of your life. That means you'll die there.
As you can see here in this picture, Jordan and his mother were very close and had a very good relationship. It must have been absolute torture for her to realize that not only had her baby been taken from her, but his killer was completely unapologetic.
On the night I managed to sleep, I wake up hearing my son scream for me, only to realize all over again, night after night, that my son is dead, gone, taken. For what? Why? Can you answer that question? Why? Why? I have an answer. Your answer will never be good enough. There will never be an answer good enough to satisfy why you were involved in the shooting of my son, why you thought that what you thought he had should be yours, why you felt that what you wanted you were entitled to, why you thought his death was an acceptable response to your jealousy or desire to have what he had. Clothes, money, jewelry, phone, shoes, whatever it was you felt you needed more than his life. Your why will never be better than his life. Your want will never trump my son's death. You get to live. You get to wake up every day. Your life continues. My sincere hope that whatever it was you wanted so badly, that you felt the need to murder my son, was worth the next years of your continued existence.
As more information came out about who Jordan was, this case became all the more disturbing.
Wow.
This year was supposed to be a year of celebration, of senior pictures with prom and graduation and parties. Instead, it was a nightmare that no parent should ever endure.
Wanting to put this whole awful ordeal behind them, Jordan's family opted not to go forward with a trial and instead stick with the original sentencing.
The Lee family does want to move on with this. They want to get some closure from this case. They want to try and forgive this defendant and all of his actions.
So because for the first time in my life I feel hate in my heart, here's what I hope. I hope every time you want for a jacket, you stay cold. I hope every time you want for shoes, you get a hole in yours. I hope every time you want a meal, you go hungry. I hope every time you want a bed, you have a sleepless night. I hope that every time you wish for your mother, she doesn't come to visit. But more than anything, because I'm nothing like you, I don't wish or hope any of that upon you. I simply wish you go to prison for the max amount of time your plea agreement allows, that you become something more than what you were taught to be in your miserable life, and because it's obvious to me and everyone here that you need help. Your actions have led you to a prison cell, but you have also created an empty cell that I live in every day.
Danta's attorney apologized for him in court.
His smiling was in no way meant as disrespectful either to the family, to the victim, or to this court.
Danta was sentenced to 23 to 50 years in prison for armed robbery and second-degree murder.
Man.
Do you think that this is harsh enough? Let us know in the comments.
Man, they should have, I ain't gonna lie, they should have gave him like life. I don't know why the family didn't want to go through with trial. I know it takes years, but he would have got life. That kid should have got life, 100%. For the way that he acted, he want to sit here and walk around like, shoot, 20 years, shoot, I'm only 18, shoot. I get out 48, I'll be good. No remorse.
This is the story of 17-year-old Frenecha Torres. Frenecha, along with 17-year-old Nicholas Evans and 18-year-old Khalil Miller, took the life of a 21-year-old man named William Tunchez. How did they do it? She promised him intercourse.
Wow.
Nicholas and Khalil knew.
Set this kid up, man. 21, he's 21 years old trying to smash the 17-year-old. I mean, that ain't too bad. I mean, that's what, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's like a 4-year difference. You know what I'm saying? But they could have went to school together, which is hence is why he trusted her.
William had a crush on Frenecha, and they decided to take advantage of it. They told him that Frenecha agreed to sleep with him if he paid them $300 and came to a wooded area in an Atlanta subdivision. He agreed. When William arrived at the decided upon location, Nicholas pointed a gun at him and Khalil hit him over the head with a stick. There was a struggle as William tried to get a hold of the gun, and Khalil repeatedly hit him in the head. During the tussle, the gun went off and hit William. The 3 teens took any valuables that William had and then fled the scene. Khalil later checked to make sure that William was dead. William's body would be discovered the next day. At first, police had no idea who William was, nor did they know who had done this to him and why.
There is no identification on the body, as we will go through our missing persons reports and see if there's any match to any missing persons reports and this possible victim.
Police were eventually able to identify William and piece together what had happened. All 3 teens had been spotted at the scene of the crime, and all 3 teens were arrested. Both Khalil and Nicholas admitted what they did and were charged with felony murder, aggravated assault, and armed robbery. Frenecha remained silent. Because Frenecha hadn't technically physically harmed William, she probably believed that her charges would be less severe than the other 2 teens.
Nope.
You could see her shock clearly when her charges were read aloud in court.
You have 3 warrants for armed robbery and 1 warrant for felony murder.
Yep.
Francesca's eyes were wide and she shook her head in confusion and shock. Khalil also seemed confused by his second armed robbery charge, while Nicholas simply stayed stoic and expressionless. A beautiful service was held in William's memory by his church family.
Sometimes young people are in the wrong place at the wrong time and with the wrong people,
said William's minister, Roque Barrios.
Investigators say they're not sure how Tunchez and the 3 teens made their connection. Tunchez had no connection, I'm told, to the neighborhood where he was shot and killed. But jail records show suspect Nicholas Evans lived just down the street.
And all 3 were identified as being at the scene.
Frenecha, Nicholas, and Khalil didn't just go down for William's murder. They were identified as being a part of other recent robberies in the neighborhood too, including one that happened just 5 days before William's death.
Wow.
It's safe to say that they were all looking at quite a bit of jail time, with Khalil in the worst position, since he was legally an adult. The 3 teens were held at the local jail without bond. One of the craziest parts about this case is that it took place back in 2018. And
wow, that took 6 days after my birthday. My birthday is October 10th, 6 days. And the look on her face, I'm not gonna lie, she needs exactly what they're giving her. You know what I'm saying?
The case has not been discussed in a public sense. There must be a lot of details going on behind the scenes to explain why, after all this time, these individuals have not yet gone to trial after so much time has passed. But they are all facing serious charges that could land them in prison for the rest of their lives.
For those teenagers, because they are kids. We lost a kid, but there are 3 more over there. They have to suffer with the consequence of what they done.
What sentence do you believe is fair in this case? Let us know in the comments.
Let us know in the comments what you think. I personally think that life sentences will be reasonable for that. You know, I'm kind of old school with it. I feel like it's an eye for an eye situation. This little girl had the nerve to set up a grown man and charged him $300 just to smash and told him to come in the woods. I don't know, like it's a lot of factors that play a part. I couldn't imagine any girl telling me to come in some woods if I'm trying to smash. No, you finna come inside like the house or something like that, or I'm finna come to your house, finna get a hotel. And I'm positive that she thought like, oh, if I keep my mouth shut, shoot, you know, this like television, shoot, they ain't gonna give me nothing. No, you getting all these charges on your head. And that's what I be saying. Like a lot of kids, they watch too much TV. I'm closer to that generation anyway, but I grew up at a time where I was able to live life to see what life was without TV all day. I was living a life to where outside exists. You know what I'm saying? The bun pop man, fire hydrant water fights, water gun fights, the little block parties and things like that. Like I came up in a generation where I got to experience things like that. You know what I'm saying? Just to see the involvement of phones and things like that. So they growing up in a generation where they just see rappers talk about, you keep your mouth shut, he ain't trying to rap, I'm just finna be out next tomorrow, no. This ain't TikTok, you're not doing no challenge. Like when that real life kick in, you're going to, like, you don't have to say nothing. They have charges on you that's blatant obvious. You don't need to say a word from them to indict you. And you're still going to get them charges, man. End of the day, I hope that all 3 of these families, I think it was like 3 or 4, but I hope whoever we covered that their family was able to have some type of comfort. Some of these cases, they definitely deserved a lot more time, but at the end of the day, I ain't gonna wish no jail on nobody. I just know that karma will get the best of them. And I know within them couple years, them couple years, them plenty of years that they finna be in jail thinking about what they have done, I'm positive that they will most likely learn their lesson. But at the end of the day, I don't think learning a lesson will still be able to bring back a lost life. You know what I'm saying? And as well, like at least they get to live the life and learn from their mistake or whatever they chose to make. It's people who wake up today and every day and they can't learn. They can't learn from a mistake because they lost their life. I would rather be on this earth suffering than get taken out and watch the other person who took my life live a life and just joy as far as he making nothing out of something. Like you took this person's life, at least you get to live and suffer. My son, my daughter can't even live or suffer. They're gone. You know what I'm saying? But y'all let me know y'all honest thoughts and opinions down below. I feel like honestly the proof was in the pudding with this video, so y'all can just let me know what y'all think. And also make sure if y'all enjoyed this reaction video that you smash the like button, comment, and also subscribe for your boy, man. Remember, the more likes this video get, the higher that it will rank. So let's get this video number 1, man. I love y'all, and let's get it. Let's go.